Hello there and welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. The Vostroyans are one of the many imperial regiments of the Astra Militarum. In this guide I'm going to showcase how to paint these models using a nice, simple and effective contrast painting scheme. These are the classic metal models that are a recent made to order. However, of course, it might be that you're from the future and they've made brand new plastic ones. Hint hint, Games Workshop. Now, without further ado, grab your paints and your brushes and let's get hobbying. And we're beginning with the classic Vostroyan guard. So these are metal miniatures. And like always, before I get into any guide, I like to go for the ground basics so we're all on the same wavelength. The models are obviously fully assembled. They come like this anyway. They've been fully cleaned in that sense, or as much as I can. Knowing me with metal miniatures, I've probably left the odd bit that you need to clean off. It's one of those things. It has been completely primed in white scar. So we're going to do classic contrast painting here with metallic paints and a few additional edge highlights to make it absolutely pop. What I'm going to do here is to show you two models. One where the flesh, or the face as you say, is exposed. The other one where we've got a gas mask style helmet, just so it showcases all the different colours that go across these models. I am referring to the box art as reference, the official Games Workshop ones. And with that said, let's get cracking on. The first colour we're going to do is these hats. Nice and simple. They've all got fur hats, and rather than sticking to the same colour, I've gone with 8 different colours. So I bought the platoon set. You get 16 of these bog standard infantrymen, so 2 lots of 8 colours. It's as simple as that. So to begin with, nice and simple, I've taken Snakebite Leather for this one. Now in all cases I'm using a small airbrush, and the reason being I want something with a fine tip where I push into all of these recesses. So obviously we don't want to push hard on the brush, we don't want to damage the bristles. However, we want to have a slight bit of strength pushing in, because way metal miniatures work, if you just go over it, you'll get an air bubble underneath, and then when it dries, you can still see the detail, or should I say, the primer or metallic area underneath, and it's just a bit spoiled. So by pushing it in, we're making sure the paint gets into every single recess. So Snakebite Leather for this one, and I'm going to go through each hat individually as different examples of what you could do. So for this one, nice and simple, base coating with Nuln Oil. Then my next one is this one, and the colour I'm using here is Basilicanum Grey. Next up is this one, and the colour here is Garaghak Sur. And next up is this one, and the colour I'm using here is Gryph Charger Grey. Then next up I've got this colour, and here I'm using Agrax Earthshade. Next up is this one, very similar in tone, slightly different, Space Wolves Grey. And then finally my last one is this one, and the colour here is Cygor Brown. So of course with any of this you could use any particular colour, and actually here is a perfect example of what I mean. You can see there's a little white spot there, and that is an actual part of the recess where I've just not got the paint in. It was over it, but there was an air bubble underneath, it didn't settle in, and that's what happens. It's just something you have with metal miniatures. Of course, if you do notice that, make sure you know which colour goes with which, or alternatively, use a shade paint. So you could use Agrax Earthshade on something that's brown, Nuln Oil on something that's grey, or if it's a darker grey, Drakenhof Nightshade, that kind of style. Either way, we want to fill in that little bubble, but any colour could do. So get that done and we'll move on to the next step. And so first up, we're going to start painting the red cloth detail. This is going to be just a classic contrast base coat. So things to note before we get into the colours: there's not many good reference images, and if you do need them, then I've already got a set completed on my own Instagram, so you've got all the front, all the back, just photos that show you where it all is. Obviously, this guide, I'll do plenty of 360s too. So the mix here is practically Mephiston red in colour. However, we want it in contrast form. We're taking 3 parts of Baal Red. This is a nice, smooth, even base coat colour. However, we need a bit of darkness to the recesses that it does not provide. So to that 3 part of Baal Red, I'm mixing 1 part of Flesh Terror's Red. Now, red is quite notorious in that it's thick, even in contrast form. So we need to thin it down to create a nice, smooth layer. And I'm taking 2 parts of Lahmium Medium to that mix. So as a reminder, 3 parts Baal Red, 1 part Flesh Terror's Red, 2 parts Lahmium Medium. Stir it together well, and just nice, simple base coating all the cloth. Now, there are metallic details. This model in particular is unique because he's got a trim that goes all the way around the outside of his cloak. The others do not have that. Of course, there are 2 versions of this exact same model, so 2 lots of armor trim. But where we've got other details to paint, such as the wood, the leather, you've got the grenades and stuff, we want to avoid those details, obviously. Otherwise, we're going to have to relayer them in white scar. However, where it comes to metallic details, again referring to box art style imagery, you can afford to be sloppy. We can catch that on there because we're going to use classic metallic paints. So get that done, let it dry, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to base coat all of our leather details. So these are all the straps, the belts, you've got the sword holster harness, that kind of stuff, and then we've got the boots, nice and simple. 1 colour, Gore Grunta Fur. So paint it on like you would traditional contrast painting. Check for pooling, though in fairness in some of the metal miniatures, as you can see, you are going to get more exaggerated areas of pooling. That's just the way it is. Let it dry, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to take Wyldwood, and we're using this base coat for all of the wooden detail of our gun. Nice and simple, across all the models exactly the same. Get that done and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're painting the water canister and all of the grenades. Nice and simple. This is a 1-to-1 mix. 1 part of Militarum Green, and to give it a bit of darkness and strength, 1 part of Dark Angel's Green. Stir that together in the palette really well and just apply it like you normally would, and this is the result. Get that done and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to focus on Black Templar as a colour, but we're also going to do the skin tone at the same time. We'll come back to the skin tone in a second. To begin with, like I said, we're taking Black Templar. Now this is for all the facial hair that we see across the models. Not all of them have it. Some have it sculpted and it's very clear which ones do. We've then got the undercloth, so to speak. So beneath their great red coat, there is this undercloth. You can see it visibly here and here. It varies in size and some models have it entirely covered. So again, just, you can determine which model has which, but it's just here and here. We're not done with Black Templar. I'm going to go to our gas mask one just to show you some other examples of where we're applying this colour. So with the gas mask, you've got this tubing here. So we want to apply the Black Templar there too. And once again, like you can see, the undercloth. And as you can see, it's a lot smaller on this side, but obviously a lot more at the front. So get that done. We'll move on to the next step, which once it's dry, and we need it to be completely dry, we're going to work on the skin tone. Now for here, I've used Guilliman Flesh, and I've done that across all the models. That's just me batch painting in a lazy way. However, any skin tone will do, whether it's Darko Flesh, Fyreslayer Flesh, Cygor Brown, Reikland Fleshshade, you do you. So get that done, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're taking Sigvuld Burgundy, and I've got 2 uses for this. If the bayonet is equipped, you've got the handle here. Of course, when it's sheathed, and some of them have it sheathed in the holder here, you'll see on occasion the handle too. So Sigvuld Burgundy for that one. There's also purity seals as well. Not every model has them, but most do. So you've got them either at the front, you do have them additionally at the back, hidden around, so just keep an eye out for them. So you've got the circular bit here for the Sigvuld Burgundy, and then when that's completely dry, obviously we've got the parchment paper beneath, and Skeleton Horde is the colour I'm using here. So get that done and we'll move on to our metallic details. Next up, we're going to base coat and shade our silver details, and I'm also going to talk about the base. So starting with the silver, the best way to explain it is a 360 in a second, but I will pick out all the individual parts. The base coat colour here is Iron Hand Steel. Now with this, I do recommend 2 thin coats. It's quite a weak paint in that sense over white scar. You need 2 solid lots just for that real base coat foundation. So obviously each coat, let it fully dry first before moving on to the next step. Now in all of these models, it's the barrel, it's the bayonet blade, you've got this section here, you know, the gun clip, the sniper scope, the eye sockets, and you can go over onto the mask, even though the mask isn't going to be silver, because it doesn't matter at this stage, we're using base coats. We've got at the back here, the textured part of the vest. Now not all models have this, some of it is actual red, the distinction being this is textured, the red parts will just be flat like the cloak. Sometimes it extends lower, which you'll notice more at the front. Sometimes it's higher, like this one. So get all of that base coated, let it dry. Just to mention, you've got the skulls here as well. And then we're going to shade it. So the shading colour here is Drakenhof Nightshade. Once again, it's darker, so it stands out more. It's blue, contrasting perfectly against this red. Now, I am doing the bases in snow themes. You've probably seen this before if you've seen my other videos. Nice and simple. The colour here is Frostheart. Obviously, you do you, but for me, I want something that contrasts. We're going to have a lot of gold. We've got a lot of red, obviously. So we're creating this triadic colour scheme to really make the models pop. So get that done, and we'll move on to the next step. And next up, we're doing all of the gold detailing. So this is every detail we've yet to paint. The colour here is obviously Retributor Armour. And at the same time, once it's dried, I've done the shading too. So give you a little 360. It's pretty obvious where it all goes. Now, there are just only a couple that have armour trim that goes all the way around the outside edge of the cloak. Most don't. There are a few that have little armour plating on the actual shoes as well, or the boots, should I say. But not all of them do. So they're quite obvious which ones do, and they're quite obvious which ones that don't. So that's in place. Obviously, let it dry before applying the shade, and we're keeping things nice and classic here with Reikland Fleshshade. So once that's done, the model is officially battle ready. It's looking absolutely amazing. Of course, we're not leaving it there. We're taking it to the next step by applying a whole host of edge highlights. And finally, I'm going to go through all of the edge highlights to finish off this model. Not everything gets a highlight in that sense, because some things don't need it. I haven't highlighted the green. I haven't highlighted the hat. There's just already too much of an edge highlight in place from the contrast paints. So with that said, let's get into the highlights. All of it is applied individually in a traditional edge highlighting sense. So for all of our red cloth details, I'm highlighting with Wild Rider Red. Not too much to do here. I'm really catching the outer edge, you know, the real visible edges. And then apart from obviously this model doesn't have it, but most of them have the edge trim of the red cloth, so that would go there too. Moving on from that, I am taking Karak Stone. Now this is for all of our Wyldwood details, so all of that wooden part of the gun. So traditional chunky edge highlight, as you can see, going across, and then little finer scratches to create those ingrains of wood, showing its age all the way along, if you want to, of course. But that's what I've done there, and that finishes off that detail. Moving on from that, we've got all of our Gore Grunta Fur leather. And the edge highlight colour I've used here is Balor Brown. Nice and simple. Moving on from that, we have a little bit of black edge highlighting to do. This is not for the tubing up here, because the way it pulls into the recesses, it creates an automatic edge highlight, being a thinner colour of black. However, we're taking Stormvermin Fur, and it's for the cloth detail down here. So it's literally just a straight edge highlight line here and here. Nice and simple. Hardly anything at all. Now we're moving on to our Sigvuld Burgundy details. So we've got the grip here for the bayonet, and we've got our purity seal. The colour here is Emperor's Children. Nice and simple. Moving on from that, sticking with the skeleton horde detail, but it's also going to be for our face, I'm taking Pallid Wych Flesh. So simple edge highlight here, and if I show you the other model, not much to do in terms of the skin tone. It's not really edge highlighting, it's spot highlights, things like the cheeks, the nose, that kind of stuff, the chin, just little traditional spot edge highlights to brighten it. Now while I've got the face to hand on this one, we're going to do the eyes as well. So small airbrush, tiniest amount of white scar to relayer the eyes, and then once we've done that and it's dry, which won't take long at all, I've taken an even smaller amount of Abaddon Black to dot the eyes, as you can see. And going back to the other one, we are going to start doing our metallic details. Two colours here for the silver, edge highlights of Stormhost Silver. And for this one, on the gas mask, I'm dotting the eyes and also relayering the entirety of the scope here. And that is on the same on every single model. All of them have that scope. For our gold, we are doing classic edge highlights of Liberator Gold. Now with that done, we want to create a contrasting colour here. You might not want to do the blue for the base that I've done, and that's absolutely fine. However, we do need blue in this model. We've got a lot of red, we've got a ton of gold. We need that triadic colour scheme to make them stand out. And if I cover that up, you can see that the eyes really help just make it pop. Just that tiny bit of blue. Even if it hasn't got the gas mask face, that alone just helps create an area of interest. The colour here is Calth Blue Clear. It is an air paint. I'm applying it with a traditional small airbrush. That's all we need to do for this. We don't need airbrushes. It is glossy. It would take a long time to dry. 3 to 4 times in a sense to a normal paint. Apply a nice even layer and it will just have a nice glossy blue finish. As you can see, it looks absolutely perfect. Finally, this is only if you're copying my guide. We obviously want texture paints on the base. You may have done that already, but I'm using Valhalla Blizzard just to create a nice tundra theme. Works really well with the overall look. Again, the contrasting effect. With that done, the model is complete. All I'm going to do now is apply some tufts and then we'll bring them all together at the end. And there we have it. My Vostroyan guard are complete. Now, I'm not going to beat about the bush. They are old metal models. They lack the quality we see in modern plastics. However, at the same time, they're nostalgic, and that's what really matters. They're a fun set to paint. Now, if this guide has helped and inspired you, and who knows, maybe you're from the future with plastic Vostroyans. Maybe that's why you've come here. But if it's inspired you, then please do give it that all-important like and share it too. I always say this, sharing isn't about being fame hungry. That's not what this channel's for. I create these guides, I talk all that I talk to support the Warhammer community. If you share the video, you're just helping others find the channel and supporting their hobby. And as a bonus, it just helps me too. Now, if you haven't subscribed, then please do consider doing so, because that's what helps the channel grow. And the more it grows, the more I get to continue doing this, supporting you, the awesome Warhammer community. So, until that next video, do look after yourselves and happy hobbying.